Welcome into Spring Lake Park High School. Girls hoops on tap tonight in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Spring Lake Park hosting the Blaine Bengals here tonight on North Metro TV. Alongside Blythe Whaley, I'm Matt Dean. Welcome in, everybody. We have got the second meeting of the season between these two conference rivals, Blythe. Blaine won the first matchup 61-43 in their home barn 2 days before Christmas. That snapped Spring Lake Park's undefeated start to the year. They were 7-0 going into that matchup. The SLP have lost 7 of 10, starting with that defeat to Blaine. And they've been banged up. They've had some players out due to illness and a major injury, at least a significant one. Anna Smolich has been mostly sidelined for the last 6 games, and the Panthers have really struggled without their second leading scorer, who we're told is going to be back tonight. A huge boost to have Smolich back in the lineup.
Yeah, they've missed having Anna Smolich. She's averaging 11 points per game. And Matt, it's something that to be able to get her back at full strength and against someone who you already went head-to-head with, you want that presence. You want that second leading scorer back with them, and they have.
They're going to need her because they're taking on a Blaine team that are leading the Northwest Suburban Conference, as you see, 12-7 overall. Leading the Northwest Suburban Conference, as you see, 12-7 overall, 8-3 in the league right now. The Bengals closed 2025 on a 5-game winning streak and have faltered a little bit. They are 3-4 in their last 7 games to start 2026. In the meantime, Spring Lake Park just 1-4 in their last 5, and again 7 of 10 they dropped since that 7-0 start to the season. Let's take a look at some players to watch. Blaine have been leading the conference, Blythe, because they are deep, they utilize their bench, and fitting that we have Marley Jansen as our spotlight player. She's not even in the starting lineup tonight. Look how good she's been.
Oh yeah, Marley Jansen, the senior guard for them, has been doing fantastic. You look at what production she's put up. I mean, 11.9 points per game for her this season. But in these last couple games, you've just seen her do tremendous. There's a 10-plus player lineup here for Blaine that they're going to go through. They don't just have those set starting players. And so for her to be able to step up and be one of those 2 returning players from last season, it's going to help them.
In the meantime, for Spring Lake Park, with Smolich out effectively the last 6 games, Jalen Bursey-Dixon, talented junior, has been stepping up her scoring.
Holy cow, Matt. She really has. In the last couple of games, 29 and 20 respectively for her points, and really just putting the team on her back. And for her, she's 16.5 points per game throughout this season, and without Smolich, like we talked about, she's stepped up to the occasion.
She had a double-double in the last game against the Bengals, expecting North Metro TV.
An apple core or potato peels. That leftover pizza you promised you'd eat.
Ew.
Those dirty napkins and paper towels. Stop treating us like garbage. Did you know up to 30% of what you're throwing away could be composted? Composting gives your discards new life, which can be used to improve soil. To learn more about the new organics drop-off programs available throughout the county and get your free starter kit, go to anokacounty.us/organics.
Welcome into Spring Lake Park High School. We are underway a couple of minutes early here in the Panther gym. And the first bucket through here for Rosie Rikucki, senior guard, to get the Bengals on the board here first on the road. Alongside Blythe Whaley, I'm Matt Dean. We mentioned in our open, 61-43. The Bengals won the first matchup. Ann Wright, the sophomore, who is one of 3 underclassmen in the starting 5 for Spring Lake Park, gets down the floor and responds with the first bucket for the Panthers, tied at 2. Alexis Earhart can't drop it through with her second miss of the day. Spring Lake Park deny a second opportunity and run the floor. Pass a little bit behind Kendall Krause as Jalen Bursey-Dixon was trying to run the floor, and the Panthers turn it over. Tied at 2, less than a minute played here in the Panther gym, and 2 teams kind of trying to get back on the right track. Both started the season really strong. Blaine have played a really tough schedule here in the latter portion of the season. Just lost to a good Brainerd team over the weekend on Saturday, 79-56. And the Bengals have dropped 2 of their last 3 and are 3-4 in their previous 7. But still, that top team right now in Northwest Suburban Conference as there's another transition bucket. And Anna Smolich, Blythe, we talked about it, a huge addition back to the Panther lineup after she missed the last 5 with an injury.
Yeah, they had to beat the full court press to get up the court, but that's some positive thing to come from the Panthers, is to know they're able to beat it and score on the other end.
And they know what to expect, because Blaine pressed Spring Lake Park just about the whole game on December 23rd. They've done that to basically every opponent they face this year. And a 10-player rotation that head coach Alex Walls is going to go to. A reaching foul here is going to be called going against number 2, Alyssa Schloman. Picking up the first of the game, and it's a different starting 5 every night for the Bengals just about today. 2 seniors in that starting lineup, Rosie Rikucki and Maddie Berry, 2 sophomores, and then the lone junior in the lineup is Alexis Earhart. You've got a sophomore and a freshman. That is Lila Benke, the 9th grader, and the 10th grader as well, Ann Wright, in the lineup for Spring Lake Park. That's their usual starting 5 now that the Panthers have the talented Anna Smolich, an 11 per game scorer, second on the team back, as a jump ball and a tie-up is going to give the possession here to Spring Lake Park, and that's already the 3rd turnover for Blaine here in the early proceedings. 16-18 to go, not yet 2 minutes expired. It's 4-2 Panthers.
And the benefit for the Panthers, of course, both teams matched up against each other, but for the Panthers, they were able to see that full court press, know how they could try to work it out in practice, and it seems like it's paid off so far.
Bullet pass inside to Bercy Dixon. You see drawing the double team there. We looked at her numbers in the open, averaging 18 a game the last 6, largely in the absence of Anna Smolich, with the second leading scorer out for SLP. Miss on the other end as Rikucki couldn't finish for the Bengals. Bercy Dixon, all-around player. You saw her in the post. Here is Kraus casting off and rattling home the triple. Kendall Kraus with her 7th made 3 on the season. She averages 6 a game, knocks one through here to stretch out the lead to 7-2.
Again, the confidence from being able to beat the press, the confidence from putting it in from deep.
Rosie Rikucki answers with the 2nd bucket for Blaine. That's the first you've seen tonight on North Metro TV. It was a 7-0 Panther run after Rikucki got the first bucket. Panthers turned it over, though, and an extra possession for the Bengals. Earhart bounces it inside to Schloman. Tough left-handed finish, and a strong rebound there by Lila Benke, who's averaging over 9 boards per game. The 5'11 freshman wearing the number 10 jersey for SLP. She is fun to watch, crashing the glass there, as Blaine's going to pick up a second foul. It'll be the first on Caden Alstrup. Reaching in here in Bercy Dixon, and here's what we're talking about, Blythe. She will post up, but she will also handle the ball, and she's got a good outside shot as well, too. Number 24, Jalen Bercy Dixon for Spring Lake Park.
And what I think about that is the Bengals, they're trying to really get back into the action, and they know that maybe they're playing a little bit flat to start and trying to do something and get your hands in there, causing the foul. Just really they need to sit back and rest on. They know what to do against this team. This might take some time.
Well, we were highlighting some of the youth in this game. Bercy Dixon burst into the basket, couldn't finish. You've got 8th grader Maddie Jeziorski checking into the game for the first time. Lid on the rim there. Marley Jansen couldn't roll it through there for Blaine. Talking about number 5, who's been getting elevated minutes for Spring Lake Park, the 8th grader, mostly been a JV contributor this season for SLP. They feed it inside now, little turnaround shot. Smolich still trying to find that touchback, maybe coming off the injury. She's got the offensive rebound. Bercy Dixon on her 2nd try on this possession on the floor is fouled and will head to the line. First 3 fouls of the game all have gone against Blaine. They're going to give that one to Marley Jansen that pushes Bercy Dixon to the line.
And you're seeing the impact of having both of these players on the court together, being able to continually keep the rebounds happening, and how many chances they just had there on offense. That's going to help them down the stretch if they can keep that up.
Absolutely. Bercy Dixon, a good foul shooter, 70%. And they are 2 post players, if you have to define them. But both Smolich and Bercy Dixon can stretch the floor, and the Panthers can play a 5-out style with 2 bigs on the floor because of their all-around talent if they want. Percy Dixon goes 1 for 2 on that trip. 8-4 is the Spring Lake Park lead. Just over 4 minutes gone here into the first half. This is Bree Cummings driving here for the Bengals. Little up and under move, tough shot, missed, but an offensive rebound was pulled in there by Ellie Beckman. And a second chance opportunity rolls through there for Marley Jansen, her first bucket of the day. That's the 8th grader, Jeziorski, breaking the pressure there from Blaine. Showing off the good handles there, the point guard. Kraus hits the deck there, nearly was stripped of the possession. Able to bounce it along to Smolich. They find an open 3 for Benke, and it banks home. Lila Benke just last week on Wednesday hit 6 threes here at home against Elk River. She's feeling it from downtown lately. Her 24th made three-pointer on the season. That's tied for the team lead, and Ellie Engelhop knocks that one through on the other end with a response for Blaine, the 5'9" sophomore guard off the bench, providing a spark.
And the Bengals needed that, certainly, to get the answer that quickly to keep them right there next to them.
Kraus, a wild shot, gets right downhill in transition, and already you're seeing Spring Lake Park playing with a lot more pace than they did in the first meeting with Blaine. That one off the window and too strong from Bree Cummings. We talked with the assistant coach for SLP, Selena Mello, before the game. We'll get to it a little bit later, but she is the acting head coach tonight for Spring Lake Park with Bart Johnson out. And she said she wanted to see the Panthers play with a little bit more urgency, take those opportunities when they break the press to try to get downhill, get to the basket a little bit quicker. The Panthers can be a little bit too methodical, and she thought they were a little bit too patient against the press last go-around. There's Selena Mello standing in as the head coach today for Spring Lake Park, and normally the chief varsity assistant for Bart Johnson.
And that whenever you are someone stepping in for a head coach, you want to be able to come back to them and hand them a win.
Get yourself a 1,000 winning percentage.
Exactly.
And she probably wants to help Bart out too, but I'd be worried about my winning percentage. They work it around. Percy Dixon way offline on the three-point shot. She's about 30% from downtown on the season. Pushing it up was Cummings. She'll pitch it out, find Jansen for 3. Yes. Marley Jansen, her 25th made three-pointer. That leads the Bengals. And a steal, and that's a 5-point swing, all from Marley Jansen. The steal and the score to extend the lead for Blaine. It's 14-11, and a timeout coming from Selena Mello on the Spring Lake Park end. Bengals get a chance to huddle up. They are led by the first-year head coach, Alex Walls, who's right in the middle of that scrum there for Blaine. Jansen hit the 3. Shows off the long-range shot and the hustle as well, too, Blythe, with the steal and the score all in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, Coach Waltz was telling me that she's just a truly awesome kid, doesn't care about anything other than the team and winning. And for him being a first-year head coach and having her as one of their captains, helping set the culture and their expectations has been very easy having her on the team.
It was 2-0 Blaine to start. Spring Lake Park went in a 7-0 run to lead 7-2. And there's the look at Alex Walls, taking over the Blaine program this season from Chris Bruce-Stewin. Stepped away from the program after his daughter graduated. There's a cut along the baseline for Spring Lake Park, and Ann Wright not able to get the bucket to fall, but it deflects back and stays in the hands of the Panthers. Percy Dixon driving, twisting, throws up a wild shot with the right hand, nearly followed her own miss, was able to knock it off of one of the Bengals and keep it on this end of the floor. So Percy Dixon has started the day 0 for 5 from the floor. She's got the 1 free throw make, but still finding a way to make an impact. Julissa Jackson with the inbound, and a quick trigger 3 by Ann Wright doesn't go. Another offensive rebound. That's Greta Solom wrestling it down here for the Panthers. Worked around. Jeziorski gets it out to the right wing corner. Pitch back up high by Bercy Dixon. Interplays with Jackson. Bercy Dixon driving, and he'll draw the contact for the Blaine foul.
Yeah, what I like about that, just not shying away from the contact, going up hard and getting her a trip to the charity stripe.
Rikucki will pick up her first, the senior wearing number 10 for Blaine. And Bercy Dixon's at the line here for the second time. Bercy Dixon, 5'10" junior forward. She's in her third varsity season, one of 3 starters that the Panthers brought back from last year's team. We mentioned in the intro she scored 20 and 29 in the last 2 games for Spring Lake Park. She has now gotten to double figures in 6 games in a row, and 15 of 17. She's scored at least 10 this year, averaging 16.5 per game. Downhill, Amelia Ritchie, everything but the finish. And another rebound wrestled away here by Lila Benke, the freshman who's so tough off the glass. Jeziorski peels back here as she's closely shadowed by Ellie Engelhop. And nearly threw it away as reaching in, stripping it away there for the moment were the Bengals, but it'll stay Panther basketball. Nearly a steal by Engelhop. Out of the second unit on the floor right now for the Panthers, Wright, number 11, a starter, but a lot of the second unit, including this 8th grader, Jeziorski, out there with Jackson. 23, also an 8th grader on the floor, but it's the starter, Wright, who streaks to the basket, the sophomore. All these grades, we keep saying the future is very bright at Spring Lake Park.
And I always love a backdoor cut, man. It always looks nice.
That one offline, and the 3-pointer by Ritchie, another sophomore. That time for Blaine. We stay tied at 14. Jeziorski inside to Greta Solom. Senior lost the handle on it, refines it, and resets it outside here to Wright. This is Jeziorski back with Wright here in the right wing. Worked across to Benke, airballs the 3. Benke has one of the 2 made 3s for Spring Lake Park so far here today. Knocked off of a Bengal paw last, and it'll stay on this end with 9:45 to go.
She just had 5 points in the head-to-head matchup earlier this season, so to already see it go through.
Benke will try again. Shooters keep shooting. Benke not far off that time, but left it short, and here come the Bengals. Now, Spring Lake Park doing an excellent job to match the pace. They drop into that zone defense. Blaine leaves it short of the 3-point try from Schloman. And Solom, who's mainly out there to rebound, she pulls down another big board. That is an area where Spring Lake Park have an edge. Good size between Bercy Dixon, Solom, and Benke to win the rebounding battle. Jump stop there by Jackson. Touch back around here to Benke. Finds the backdoor cutter, Jackson. Pitches out to Wright. Wright, little too strong in the 3. Bengals push. Now Schloman has it right wing. Casting off for 3 and hitting Alexis Earhart. Cast through for the 3rd made 3 for the Bengals. And Alex Walls and Blaine will call timeout here with 8:46 left to go in the half. Blaine loved to shoot the 3 ball. They're shooting less than 30% as a team, but on average make 8 threes a game. They attempt 30 3-pointers a game. That's double of what Spring Lake Park typically does in a game.
Yeah, for Blaine, just being able to see that ball go through from deep is going to help down the stretch mentally. But for them, you know, getting back into the lead, now just having the composure to, hey, our shots are going to be falling. We don't need to rush things, and I think that's been working for them.
3-point lead for the Bengals. We got a full timeout here taken by head coach Alex Walls, who we mentioned is in his first season as the Bengal head coach. Spent 5 years as an assistant at the lower levels of the Bengal program. Spring Lake Park trying to break out of this rut. They've lost the last 7 games in a row here to Blaine. The Bengals having won every meeting since the 21-22 season, and it's been a rivalry largely owned by the Bengals since the Panthers joined the Northwest Suburban Conference just before the start of the 14-15 season. Steal by Rikucki. She's fouled. Nearly had a chance at a three-point play. Will draw the contact and head to the line here for Blaine. That is going to be the first foul on Spring Lake Park. Ann Wright goes in the book. There have been 5 against Blaine so far. And Rosie Rikucki, 5'8" senior guard, been about 50-50 at the line this year shooting from the stripe. Rikucki has got 5. Second only to Marley Jansen, 7 here in the early proceedings in Spring Lake Park. The leading scorers for Blaine. Nadi Berry wins the offensive rebound and gets another chance here for the Bengals. Tough shot for Schloman. It doesn't fall. Bercy Dixon springing the charge on the other end here. Jump stop by Benke. She throws it up with the left hand. Bercy Dixon nearly had the rebound. Good hustle there by Nadi Berry, who's the leading rebounder for the Bengals, has nearly 9 a game on average. And they're going to get Ann Wright here in the book for another personal foul. That's the second on Wright here in quick succession as Schloman got her with the follow-through move and will head to the line.
Yeah, Coach Walls was also talking about Schloman to me, and he was saying that she really brings a lot of joy to this team. She stepped up in some big games on the glass and provides a ton of energy for them, and you just saw it on that last play.
First point for Schloman there with the free throw make, the sophomore, averaging 9.7 a game. There have been 4 sophomores that have been regular contributors in that lineup. It's a 10-woman rotation for head coach Alex Walls, and 4 of those 10 was 10th graders at Blaine High School. Jeziorski with the giveaway, and pushing and nearly finishing was Rikucki. It'll be another foul in the book here for Spring Lake Park. Actually, the first 5 of the game were all committed by Blaine. And they're going to get Jeziorski with her first and the 3rd here for the Panthers. Rikucki up at the line. 3rd-year varsity player, mostly off the bench the last couple of years. She had 11 points in the December 23rd meeting against Spring Lake Park. One of 2 double-figure scores that the Bengals had along with Jansen. 7 points already here in the first half for Rikucki, 3 of which have come from the line. Good job by Spring Lake Park to break the press. Benke passes up the 3. They work it around Kraus and now Jeziorski. Jeziorski undersized, but you can tell she is very confident handling the basketball for the Panthers, like her game. Bercy Dixon followed her own miss and draws the foul on the second chance. I tell you what, Bercy Dixon hasn't been very efficient shooting so far here tonight. She's still looking for her first make, but on 2 or 3 instances, it almost doesn't matter. She's getting her own offensive rebound and heading to the line anyway.
Yeah, it's certainly been a player who has really just stepped up physically and making sure that, hey, she's going to be getting that board. She's going to be taking the contact, helping her get to the line. We've seen her do that numerous times already today.
4 of 6 at the line for all 4 of her points for the 5'10" junior. Blaine get back into their offense here. Rikucki pitching out. This is Berry with the 3-point try. No. And how about the smallest player on the floor, Jeziorski, grabbing the rebound here for Spring Lake Park.
Hey, Matt, that might have been like me when I played back in my day of just being the smallest on the court, but when I found the rebound, you know, it does feel good. It feels pretty good.
And a little bit of a wash there, that last 30 seconds for Jeziorski as she gives it up with a turnover here for the Panthers. Some substitutions as Ritchie and Rikucki both sit for Blaine. You got Earhart, Jansen on the floor. Ritchie actually just checked in and was one of the 2 coming up the floor along with Bree Cummings. Cummings driving, flips it off to Alstrup. That was Beckman. Unable to get it through. Kraus with her back to the basket. Finds the open shooter, Smolich. Rotates to Benke, driving, tough finish. Lila Benke, the freshman, showing off her skills there. Second made bucket. She's got 5, and Ritchie, first down the floor, wins the race.
Coach Wall's talking about their pace being a strength for them. They're looking to score in the first 5-10 seconds, and that's on a bucket, a rebound, or a turnover. And you saw it.
There's Smolich. Quick answer here. Yeah, no doubt. And you can see that Spring Lake Park's got a pretty significant size advantage, and one way you combat that, get down the floor and score before Spring Lake Park can get settled. Quick trigger jumper there, knocked through by Bree Cummings. That's her first basket of the day. The 5'6" junior guard averaging 7.6 a game. Ritchie with a steal, but gave it right back up here for Blaine. This is Bercy Dixon. They're going to call her for a walk, and Spring Lake Park gives it right back. I think Spring Lake Park, though, has done a good job. You know, we talked before the game with Selena Mello, and they understand Blaine are going to press you, but if they're aggressively pressing you all the way up the floor, you've got some chances to get some transition baskets, and I think Spring Lake Park have done that pretty well tonight.
Yeah, being able to take the script from last time they played, knowing this pace is going to be a little bit faster, that they'll need to come into this game ready for it, and it seems they have been.
Ritchie can't cast off from downtown, but an offensive board. Beckman doesn't get that to go. Good defense by Jackson, wearing number 23 there for Spring Lake Park, but I think it knocked off of Jackson, the 8th grader, to keep it on this end of the floor. Yeah, good defense by Jackson, and just couldn't corral that one in. She thought it was off one of the Blaine players, but I think these officials made the right call. Jansen from 3, no. Bercy Dixon the rebound. Our officials tonight, by the way, are Kevin Mann, Scott Landy, and Tyler Remersma. I think Tyler's the tallest official in the state of Minnesota, if not the entire Midwest. He's working the baseline right now, and that will be a turnover here by Spring Lake Park. There's Tyler.
Yeah, I don't want to stand next to him. Just for his height, I'll clarify that. Seems like a great guy.
We don't have listed heights of the officials, but like, I'm going 6'8". I stood next to him. He's a towering official. Trying from 3 was Ellie Engelhop. You can see the speed of Amelia Ritchie. Didn't quite finish there, but she's been crashing the glass well, and she's got some burst. Really quick first step for the 5'8" sophomore guard. And another chance here for the Bengals after 2 offensive rebounds. Bree Cummings will inbound here for Blaine. A little too far for Ritchie, but it taps back to Engelhop. Driving here, Jansen, yes. 1 point shy of double figures on the night here before halftime for Marley Jansen. 28-20. This is Blaine's largest lead here of the game so far.
Yeah, Jansen, just such a confident shooter and not afraid of the moment. You see her take it upon herself to put it up numerous times.
Knocked out of bounds here off the hands of Cummings. Jesse Orski, the 8th grader, will inbound. Got some of that youth out there with the freshman Benke, who played with heavy minutes as an 8th grader last year. I tell you what, Bart Johnson is not afraid of calling up some 8th graders to the varsity team. We've seen it the last couple of years. Kendall Kraus off the line on the 3. And why not when you got some talented ones in the area like Spring Lake Park does. Here's Engelhop, left it short. Rebound pulled in by one of those aforementioned 8th graders, Jalissa Jackson. Here's another one driving, a little bit wild. Jeziorski gave it away. Inside 4 minutes left to go, taken away by Kraus, and the Panthers have it right back. Three and a half minutes left to go. Bengals preparing a line change. They've got 5 subs waiting at the scorer's table to come on. Greta Solom just off the free throw line. 15 to shoot, lost the handles on it. Taken away here by Ritchie. Solom's got to keep that ball moving or give it up, and a breakdown by the Panthers. Not going to come any easier than that for Ellie Engelhop. The sophomore now has 5, and the Bengals have a 10-point lead. And even with the way this unit have played, it's going to be Panther basketball here, knocked out of bounds. Guess what? 5 off, 5 on. There's that line change we're talking about from Coach Walls.
And I would think a little intimidating. You're seeing the fresh legs come in to play against you. Just a little under 3 minutes left to go in the first, but still, you know, you're fighting against some players that just got some water. They got some fresh legs coming in on you.
This is the originally listed starting lineup. Schloman, Rikucki, Berry, Alstrup, and Earhart out there right now for Blaine. They mix it up every game. It's not always these 5 playing together necessarily. But with the way they're playing in the first half, it's working. Kraus with the pitch out. 3-pointer, no good there from Lila Benke. And that one jostled around, and I thought Benke might have got a piece of that. That was just mishandled by Earhart for the turnover for Blaine. Jalen Bursey-Dixon will check back in, replacing Solom for Spring Lake Park. Jeziorski fell into the double team trap, and the press wins another possession here for Blaine. Little hook shot, did not go for Rikucki. And Benke with a nice pass around to Jeziorski. They still got that press to break. They got to get it over the timeline. They get it up, and Smolich finishes for Spring Lake Park. Oof, by the skin of their teeth, the Panthers break the press and get a much-needed bucket to get it back to single digits.
Yeah, I like the awareness, getting it all the way up and just going to the hole knowing the defense wasn't there.
Alstrup hands it off to Rikucki now for Blaine. Schloman right back to Rikucki. Nadi Berry here off the right wing. She pump fakes and drives. Nice move there from Berry. Her first points, or as we mentioned, the leading rebounder, averaging nearly 9 boards per game and scoring 5 per. Berry had a double-double earlier this season against Duluth East.
Yeah, she's always doing the dirty work. She's getting in there, getting rebounds, post touches, and just a physical defensive presence as well.
Benke's 3-point shot, it's been effective at times this year. It's looked a little off kilter on a couple of instances. Kraus drew a foul there after chasing down the long offensive rebound. And that is going to push Spring Lake Park into the bonus as Nadi Berry, who Blythe, you mentioned, does a lot of the dirty work. That one a little bit below the line there to pick up her second foul. 1:18 left to go. And Kraus will shoot 1 and 1 here. Kraus, a 65% foul shooter. She'll hit the front end. 4 points for Kendall Kraus, third-year varsity player, one of the 3 returning starters that came back for the Panthers from last year. Bursey-Dixon, Smolich, and Kraus, who's averaging 6 per game this year. She'll stay at 4 after missing the second foul shot. Rikucki runs through the lane, wild shot. Blaine wants to get those shots off early in the possession. I'm not sure that's exactly the type of shot they want. Rikucki shooting over 2 Spring Lake Park defenders. Minute left to go here in the first half. Bursey-Dixon tried to force it inside to Smolich, tap back out to Kraus. 15 to shoot here on this end for the Panthers. Jeziorski, little jump stop. She's blocked by Rikucki. It stays with the Panthers. They've got 9 seconds left on the shot clock here to work with. Look, Jeziorski, nice move, but not enough size there as Benke, beg your pardon, Rikucki closed her down.
Yeah, we saw it on both sides. Not an ideal shot for either team. We'll see how they finish out the half.
Kraus with the shot clock winding down, had to force one up, didn't go, and Blaine throws it away here. 30 seconds left to go. The shot clock turned off here at the end of the first half, and now if you're Spring Lake Park, you're thinking about trimming this potentially to a 6 or 7 point deficit, make it more manageable here at halftime. We'll see if the Panthers elect to hold for the last shot here. Jeziorski pretty casually over the timeline here. Kraus back to her. 20 seconds left. Jeziorski tries to force it around the Blaine defender. Stolen away here, up the floor quickly, Earhart can't finish. Falls to Schloman. Kicks out the three. No on the effort from Ahlstrom. Chance here with 3 seconds to go. Spring Lake Park try to force it inside with Bercy Dixon looking for Benke, and the Panthers turn it over. Benke lost it. I think that should have been Spring Lake Park ball. It'll go to the Bengals here with less than 2 seconds to go. A steal and one last effort by Lila Benke. Can't get it to roll off the window. Spring Lake Park, though, does trim the deficit to single digits here before halftime. It's Blaine 32, SLP 23. As we leave you for a break, at the break, you're watching Girls High School Hoops on North Metro TV.
We in Spring Lake Park believe in building a strong and safe community. Our city moves onward and upward while holding on to our traditions and roots. We maintain a small town feel even though we are nestled next to the big city. We believe in being good neighbors and building community with safe neighborhoods. And we believe in citizenry and promote being active both physically and socially. We in Spring Lake Park love to play and believe in having an abundance of parks, playgrounds, and green space so that everyone can take a moment to enjoy the natural beauty that surrounds us. We believe in educating our children well, so we use the most advanced tools of learning to ensure continued success and bright futures. We promote athletics to keep our children fit and healthy and build a sense of teamwork. We in Spring Lake Park believe in providing a good, stable home for industry and small business to thrive. We have a large variety of successful businesses that have found continued success and benefit from excellent visibility off Highway 65. And a large customer base, as we are located only 15 minutes outside of downtown Minneapolis. Come visit us in Spring Lake Park, and you will see why we believe our city is one of a kind.
Welcome back into Spring Lake Park High School. Take a look at the highlights from the first half of action here that built Blaine out to this early lead. Kendall Kraus hit an early triple here for Spring Lake Park, who raced out to a 7-2 edge early. Rosie Rikucki had the first 4 for Blaine to cut into that lead. Marley Jansen, our feature player for the Bengals, was active, leading all scorers with 9 points here at halftime. Lila Benke knows the bank's always open. Hit that 3. Those are the only 2 Spring Lake Park would hit. They were 2 of 10. Engelhop hitting one of the 3 that Blaine hit in the first half. Jansen, terrific. She had a sequence where she hit a 3, followed that up immediately with a steal and score for a 5-point swing. That helped Blaine kind of assert their control in this game. The Bengals, after it was tied at 14, would go on an 18-9 run to close the half. But Anna Smolich doing her part to try to answer back for Spring Lake Park. Blaine at one point led by 10, and SLP were able to cut it back to single digits before the opening 18 minutes were through, and 32-23. Blaine leads it here at the half, and Blythe in a game where the Bengals won by a pretty significant margin, 61-43 in the first go-around. I think the Panthers, they have to take better care of the basketball, probably start to heat up a little bit from 3, but I thought they did a good job of matching the pace of Blaine when the opportunities presented itself.
Yeah, that first half last time they matched up was 27-19 in favor of Blaine. And obviously you saw Blaine finishing off that game further ahead than that. But definitely for Spring Lake Park, how do you keep putting your foot on the gas? You saw them come out early in the first half with that energy and that intensity, and they're going to need to do that here in the second.
Earhart with the first miss of the half on that possession for Blaine. We had the Bengals shooting 33% only in the first half. They were 3 of 8 from downtown. 5 of 6 from the free throw line. Spring Lake Park only shooting 28% and hit just 2 of their 10 three-point attempts. Jalen Bursey Dixon, the only Panther that got to the line. She was 4 of 6 from the stripe. Oh, wrapping her way all the way to the lane. Ann Wright couldn't get the and one call, but got the bucket. Tough finish there.
And she had 4 points last time they matched up, already up to 6 tonight.
So here come Spring Lake Park after a turnover, back up the floor here. Wheeling her way into the lane, a little bit of a wild shot there for Spring Lake Park's Kendall Kraus. And we'll have a foul on the play. That'll go against Spring Lake Park. That is the 3rd on Ann Wright. Something to watch as the game moves forward. Wright, a starter, averages 7 a game, and the primary point guard for SLP. Alstrup in the lane, pitches out for an open 3. This is Alexis Earhart who cans it. Her second made triple of the day. She's got 20 made 3s now on the season, and Blaine, a team that loved the launch, they attempt 30 a game on average. They have got 7 players with at least 9 made 3s in the season. You can just never really know where that 3-point shot's coming from. Bursey Dixon misses from 3 on her end.
Makes it incredibly difficult to defend, just knowing that angle from distance could be coming from any one of those players, like you mentioned.
Good hustle there by Bursey Dixon to force the tie-up. It'll win a possession here for the Panthers, as they had the arrow in their favor. Just over 90 seconds gone here into the second half. It was 32-23 Blaine at the break. Both teams just with a bucket so far here in the second half. Smolich in possession. Panthers break the press. Oh, that should have been left. That's a mistake there by Lila Benke. That ball deflected by one of the Bengals. She needs to just leave that, and it's a side out coming in for Spring Lake Park.
Yeah, that's a hard one, especially when just not sure who it was off of. I'm sure just trying to make sure she kept it in, and of course, unfortunate circumstance for them.
Earhart with a heat check 3-point attempt. That one didn't go. Earhart had made her first 2 attempts from downtown. She was also 0 of 5 from 2-point range in the first half. Go figure. There's Smolich, kicks it out. Bercy Dixon, good movement to find Benke, the open shooter, but the three-point shot still not falling here for the Panthers. They've missed a couple early here in the second half at least after they were 2 of 10 in the first. Marley Jansen, the first player in this game to double figures, now has 11.
How do they stay composed? Of course, knowing the Bengals are hitting these early shots coming into the second half, but how do they just keep this game close? Potentially, you know, shooters can get cold.
They're going to keep trying to find Lila Benke, and eventually she's going to heat up, hitting her second made 3 of the day. And she's now 2 of 7 from beyond the arc for a player who came in shooting about 34% from distance. First three-pointer of the half here for the Panthers. That's a tough finish. Marley Jansen, back-to-back buckets for the Bengals, here to keep them in front by double digits. Bercy Dixon switching to Kraus. That cross wing pass. Benke gets an open look, but airballs it. Tap back by Bercy Dixon. Good hustle by her and Smolich, but the Bengals get an easy look on the other end, and guess who? It's Marley Jansen, who scored the last 3 buckets for Blaine. And I think she scored them on 3 straight possessions there for the Bengals, if I'm not mistaken. Here they find it out wide, and Wright gets that cash. And Wright with her first made 3 of the day. And Spring Lake Park, they are hanging around in this game because of a couple of three-point shots here in the second half so far. Still a 10-point swing in Blaine's favor. Bercy Dixon reaching into the lane to take the steal away here for Spring Lake Park. Nice hustle there by Kraus. First one on the floor after the deflection by Bercy Dixon.
This is an important one for the Panthers, just trying to cut this lead, get it back under double digits.
Bercy Dixon from straight on. Now she hits from downtown. That's her first made basket today. She was 0 of 6 shooting in the first half and nearly had a steal. That looked clean, but they're going to call a whistle here and say that Bercy Dixon fouled Rosie Rikucki. You can see what Jalen Bercy Dixon thought about it.
Oh yeah, her face says it all.
Oh, there might have actually, I think she might have reached in and kind of got some contact there on the waist before she got in and got all ball. So actually, I think that might have been the right call.
Yeah, it's always tough in the heat of the moment, too. You're going to have that look on your face regardless. You didn't want to pick up the foul, even if it was legit.
It is only the first on Bercy Dixon, who comes up with a stuff anyway. Swats Cummings. And in her eyes, justice served here as Spring Lake Park have the basketball. 13 to play here in the second half. 7 points, the Bengal lead. Jalen Bercy Dixon, the team leader, as you would imagine, in blocks as well, too. Had 16 of them on the season coming in. There's Anna Smolich. She's still got those smooth moves. Again, an 11-a-game scorer. Doesn't quite have that touchback around the rim that we know she's got. The junior who had missed the last 5 games with an injury, over and back call here on Blaine. And you can see the aghast look here. I didn't see, but Engelhop thinks that was tipped by one of the Panthers on its way to the backcourt, and that this should not be an over and back call here by the Bengals. Did that go off of Bercy Dixon's hand? That's really tough to tell.
Yeah, always glad when I don't have to be the referee making that call, especially without our replay.
Based on the flight of the ball, I think that's the right call. That ball kind of rolled on its way out to the backcourt. So I think Bercy Dixon did get a piece, and credit to the officials. They got together to discuss what they each saw and overturned it. Shot from 3, airmailed there by the Bengals, but an offensive rebound flipped back up, and after the missed 3 by Cummings, number 20, Ellie Beckman, unable to finish off the second try. Jeziorski looking for the outlet. She finds Jackson. 2 8th graders linking up. Jackson driving on Ritchie. Works it out to Smolich. Back up high, Bercy Dixon. Smolich passes up the 3, takes it inside, out to Jeziorski. 10 to shoot here for the Panthers. Jackson with a jump stop. Jackson, not quite the touch. Good move with that little jump stop, but her first shot from the floor today doesn't fall. Cummings kicks out. Ritchie with the corner 3. Rattles home with the friendly roll on the road, and Blaine will call timeout here.
And when I asked Coach Walls what they needed to do to be able to beat the Panthers again, he was saying that they just have to be them. They have to play like themselves, and that means fast, fearless, and consistently in attack mode. You see them putting this 3 down, not wasting a second of the clock, and both offensive and defensively, they've been in attack mode for sure throughout this game.
Blaine have not trailed since it was tied at 14 all. After it was tied at 14 apiece, Blaine closed the first half on an 18-9 run. It's been about dead even so far here in the second half. 12-11 so far, Bengals. And a 10-point lead back here, tying the largest advantage that Coach Walls' team has had in this one. 11:28 left to go. Still a chance, though, for Spring Lake Park to turn the tides, but this game, it's been sloppy with both teams turning the ball over. I think that's more so the type of game that Blaine wants it to be. They're fine giving up a few turnovers because they know they're going to force many more on their own. They average 17 steals a game as a team. That's a lot, right? As we say that, Amelia Ritchie with another swipe. Able to bounce it out for an open 3 look. Cummings can't cast off from downtown. Strong rebound by Lila Benke. Jeziorski handling the rock for Spring Lake Park. Finds Kraus. 11 minutes left to play. Kraus has it taken away. Another steal by Ritchie, her second in a row. Ritchie gliding toward the basket. Doesn't have the finish, but again, we're seeing that explosiveness from Amelia Ritchie. Couple of steals, couldn't quite turn it into points there to extend the lead for Blaine. How about this? Just silky move there from Ritchie. And you're not going to hear an announcer talk so glowingly about a highlight without a basket. Everything but the finish. Timeout called. Still a 10-point lead for Blaine. Gives us a chance here to talk about some of the support staff. Alex Walls is the first-year head coach at Blaine. Nick Russin is his varsity assistant. McKenna Rollins is the JV coach at Blaine. And here's what's coming up for the Bengals. Believe it or not, there are only either 7 or 9 games left on the schedule for both of these two teams. I believe Blaine's the one that have 7 games remaining on the schedule. They will be hosting Park Center here at home coming up on Thursday, their only other game this week. And then they're idle until next Wednesday when Champlain Park comes to town. A little bit of a homestand here for the Panthers, trying to get back on the right track. They won 5 games in a row to close last calendar year and have come out 3-4 in their last 7 in 2026. Solom inside, mishandles the bullet pass from Kraus. Another steal here by Blaine. They find the open shooter. It's Schloman. Schloman with her first made 3 of the day.
That's exactly who they want, putting it through. Just another name hitting from deep. And she's already done it today, but it's someone who we talked about earlier. That coach is just saying that she's really stepped up her game lately, and those shots from deep are really showing it.
There's a try from the corner look. Ritchie off the line on the triple. Remember that stat I said in the first half? 7 players, at least 9 made 3s. Well, Ellie Engelhop is the sophomore who had 10. I like round numbers, so now you can say 7 players have at least 10 made 3s for the Bengals this year. That sounds like more of a stat. Here's Rosie Rikucki. Worked around here to Jackson. Jackson with a try. Rebound pulled down by Jeziorski. Out to Kraus. Now Jackson will try again. No. Tie up on the floor. It's going to be a jump ball and stay with the Panthers. Greta Solum getting her hands on it. A state champion football player, by the way, number 32 for Spring Lake Park. D lineman. Did some scout team, special teams work for the Panther varsity squad this year. Great all-around athlete. We'll talk about that more with Greta Solum, number 32. Also a track, shot, and discus thrower on the track and field team in the spring, number 32 in blue and red for the Panthers.
I always appreciate seeing the multi-sport athletes. Being one myself, it's always nice to be able to go between seasons. Sometimes your other sport is really helping you feel a little bit more well-rounded, staying in shape before coming in back into the season.
Hey, maybe if basketball's not your first sport, here is jumping in and stealing it for an easy deuce. Ann Wright, who becomes the first Panther into double figures. And it is an 11-point game right now, still favoring Blaine. That trims into the largest lead that Blaine has had today. Marley Jansen offline on the triple when it was 47-34. The 13-point edge, the biggest advantage Blaine's had today. Percy Dixon can't race it down. Alexis Earhart got to it, but Earhart back into tallest player that you would expect to average 9 rebounds a game, and he said she is resilient. She is battling down low against oftentimes a lot bigger posts, and for Blaine to have a chance against this kind of long and athletic Spring Lake Park team, Barry, as you said, Blythe, is doing a lot of the unseen dirty work to give Blaine a little bit of some size inside when they get into the half court.
Yeah, and it's always nice to have players like that, just knowing they're going to be so consistent, just like Jansen, too.
Jansen's had a fantastic night. She is the epitome of what Blaine are trying to do, forcing pressure, smart plays, and easy buckets. And Marley Jansen with 17 points here tonight. She has been north of 20 on 2 other occasions this year, fighting her way to the basket and drawing a foul. Here's Kendall Kraus. In the meantime, headed to the line for Spring Lake Park. Jansen has had as many as 28 points in a game. That was back in November against Buffalo. She just had the last basket for Blaine and has a 17 tonight. Kraus at the line sitting on 4 points, all of which were scored in the first half.
Seems to be a player that does a little bit of everything without really needing that spotlight. Just being a glue player, sometimes they'll call it, ball handler, defender, but also getting those rebounds.
Third year playing varsity basketball for Kendall Kraus. Junior hits them both there at the line. She missed some time with some injuries as a freshman, but got that full season of experience at the varsity level last year, and has been a regular at SLP really since her freshman year. Probably would have been an every game player had it not been for the injury. Alexis Earhart scoring there to get her double figures now for Blaine. 55-38, the lead right now for the Bengals. And a 17-point advantage, the largest of the night.
There was one of those rebounds that Barry got for Blaine, getting him back on offense.
Percy Dixon with some tough defense there. Played it well to not foul there. Jansen really only able to just throw it off of number 24 and keep the possession alive for Blaine. They've got plenty of time to work with here on the shot clock. 21 up there. And now you're kind of in an interesting spot in the game where you're Blaine, you've got a big lead, but it's kind of against your DNA to slow it down. But Blaine have got to find some moments here to just kind of work the possession a little bit here in the half court, but you can't get too content to try to settle into a type of game you're not used to playing.
Especially knowing not too many regular season games left. You don't want your team to start playing different with setting that pace, slowing it down. You want them to really continue to take it to them.
Rosie Rikucki picks up her third there with the reaching foul in, and right. Kraus is going to sit. Jaworski will come in. And we'll also have a timeout coming from Spring Lake Park and their acting head coach Selena Mello. Chance to reset here with 5:46 remaining in the game. Second half. Alongside Blythe Whaley, I'm Matt Dean. Ted LaRue directing things in our North Metro TV truck tonight. Give a shout out to our terrific crew. In the truck with Ted, we've got Rand Thill, Jeremy Youngquist in replay. Camera operators are Drew Shingen, Ben Thornton, Rob Clark. All on hand here tonight at Spring Lake Park High School. 55-38 your score with Blaine in front. They're trying to win their second game this year against Spring Lake Park and finish off the sweep. They've won 7 in a row against the Panthers since the 21-22 season. Two teams that are looking like two of the better clubs in Northwest Suburban, and certainly Blaine atop the standings. Spring Lake Park are in that middle of the pack type of section in the league. And both teams are battling for, pretty crucial seeding spots. if you look at it by the QRF, and these two teams are in different sections, but Blaine right now off of the QRF are a 3 seed in 7-4A. They're in fact a 2 seed right now, but the problem is that they've lost twice head-to-head to rivals Centennial. So when it goes to a coach's vote, you think probably, if we can put our bracketology hats on, Blaine right now are likely a 3 seed in their section over at 7. Spring Lake Park, in the meantime, have got an interesting case because by the QRF formula, they're a 6 seed, but they have head-to-head wins over 2 of the 5 teams that are ranked ahead of them by the quality results formula. And the Panthers will have 4 pretty critical section games down the stretch. We showed you their upcoming schedule, but Rogers, Mounds View, Osseo all on the road, and Champlain Park at home are all section games that'll be key for Spring Lake Park, trying to make sure that they get a home game in that playoff first round. Both these teams hosted home playoff games last year and lost. Bercy Dixon with the 3, and it doesn't go. This will stay with the Panthers as it's batted back off of Blaine. 5 minutes to play, and still we're stuck at this 55-38 score here.
And as far as the Panthers, they're still going to want to continue to push the pace. They already came into this game playing a little bit faster than they normally do, but of course with this clock winding down, they got to go.
Benke tries to get it started, breaks the really drought that both teams have had collectively these last couple of minutes. Benke now to double figures. The freshman for the 5th time this season, eclipsing 10 or more. Nice ball movement here by Blaine. The shot doesn't match it though, as Earhart was off the line. Another tough rebound by Natty Berry. Trying is Rikucki, able to roll it through there for the Bengals. 9 points, now 7, in fact, for Rikucki.
Yeah, big board there by Berry again, just to keep Blaine on the offensive possession, and it pays out. They get to cash out and continue to grow in their lead.
And these turnovers just getting costlier and costlier as the game goes along. Spring Lake Park running out of time and down 17 as they give it up yet again, and Blaine will make one of those patented Coach Wall's line changes here. 5 on, 5 off.
And probably a little bit of credit to that line change coming in. Their goal to force more turnovers than they're turning over themselves.
There comes Ritchie slithering her way to the basket. Talked about it tonight. Ritchie just looks so smooth getting down to the basket. Hasn't had the shot to follow it. She forces another steal. Blaine nearly get an easy bucket out of it with Engelhop. Spring Lake Park push. Smolich just saving it on the baseline. Throws it away right back to Cummings. Blaine up the floor. Here's Engelhop denied at the rim. And Bercy Dixon pulling in the rebound. 3:20 left to go here as Ann Wright crosses the timeline for SLP. Kraus, a whistle here as she drew the foul. Well, I think one factor in this game tonight, and we were hoping and I think maybe expecting that it was going to be a little bit closer. Beckman picking up her 2nd foul there, by the way, with Kraus at the line. I think as Spring Lake Park continues to move forward here in their season. Anna Smolich, we've seen the flashes, but only 6 points tonight. She hasn't scored in the second half. It just kind of looks to me, Blythe, like she's still getting the touch around the rim back. And once she kind of gets her legs back under her, this Spring Lake Park team are completely different when you have a fully formed Anna Smolich to go along with Jalen Bercy Dixon. Terrific player who we highlighted in the open as Schloman connects on her 2nd made triple. And Schloman with a steal, threw up another wild shot, doesn't get it to go.
Yeah, you talked about Smolich, and for her really missing that many games, Matt, that's tough, and trying to just get back, whether that's physically, also you just lose a little bit of pep in your step that maybe you had for the conditioning coming into it. But still, she's still that player, and she knows that she can really rely on the confidence of knowing what she can do, and just needs a couple games maybe to get back into it.
That was Smolich drawing the foul as she got downhill. They'll say before a shot was thrown up. Amelia Ritchie, the sophomore, picks up her first for Blaine, and just a simple inbound here for the Panthers. Try for the left wing three, in and out from Benke. It'll stay with Spring Lake Park here, and they get another chance with 2:27 to go in the second half. Again, Blaine in action next at home Thursday against Park Center. 7 p.m. tip in that one, and the Panthers will be on the road Thursday night at Anoka as Kendall Krause gets herself to one shy of double digits. And immediately that's answered back by Engelhop, the sophomore who's chipped in 7 off the bench tonight for Blaine. And another very astute over and back call by our guy over there, Kevin Mann. He's had a couple of tough ones with players straddling the line with the pivot foot. And that is the right call. Spring Lake Park with a turnover. 2:03 left to go. And this one from SLP. This is Engelhop on the handoff exchange with Beckman. Works it around to Ritchie. Gets downhill, over Benke, finishes. Amelia Ritchie, I mean, she's one to watch for me. Just a sophomore here at Blaine. And already their leading scorer, just shy of 12 a game. She's got 9 tonight. Benke touches it along here to Bercy Dixon. 90 seconds left to play here in the other end. Worked around to Benke, fills it up from 3. Lila Benke to 13 tonight. And what'll be a losing effort for Spring Lake Park here, still down by 20. Engelhop loses the handle on it. Benke's going to be fouled, I think, by Engelhop reaching in after she got it stolen away.
Yeah, she's another one of those players just not afraid of the contact and also not afraid of the big shot. You saw her hit it on the other end, but also getting in there and having to take the contact.
Engelhop's got 7 tonight. She's got 1 game in double figures this year. I believe this is her most productive scoring game other than the 13 she scored in the opener against Cambridge Isani. 7 tonight. Inside a minute to go here. Bengals have this one wrapped up. Bercy Dixon will try from 3. Solom trying to bat down the rebound, but it falls to Natty Berry. And another quick one on the other end is Grace Solom gets on the score sheet here for Blaine, and that one will roll through for Bercy Dixon.
What I like about this Bengal team is early on they had that pressure by the Panthers, and they really allowed themselves to settle into this game and get back to Blaine basketball.
For Blaine, it'll be their 9th Northwest Suburban Conference win. Benke with a strip and steal, and will likely finish out the night here at Spring Lake Park. Blaine stay atop the Northwest Suburban Conference standings to go to 9-3 in league play on the season. Win number 13 on the year as they finish off the season sweep of the Panthers and win their 8th in a row over rivals Spring Lake Park. Stick around for our post-game coverage. We'll come back and Blythe Whaley will chat courtside with a couple of the standouts from the win for the Bengals. That's next here as we put a capper on a 68-50 win for Blaine, next on North Metro TV.
Let's sit and chat and drink coffee, and maybe we together and make believe we'll share our hearts and share our dreams. Now what do you think about you and me? Maybe we can always be forever you, forever with me. Oh, 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 I bet you're thinking I'm a little too romantic. Oh, but baby, now don't get frantic, 'cause when I love, my loving's gigantic. Oh, and I think that's alright. Let me dream, oh, a girl can dream, and maybe it's not as crazy as it seems. Me loving you, you loving me right back. Now cut me some slack. Oh, 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 oh.
Blaine closes the first half at an 18-9 run. They never trail in the second. All the youth we talked about in this game, it was two seniors who stood out for the Blaine Bengals. Blythe Whaley is down courtside with them to break down the win.
Thanks, Matt. Alongside a couple seniors, Marley Jansen and Natty Berry. Marley, we're going to start with you. Tonight, of course, the Panthers came out, and they came out a little bit faster pace than maybe they were in that first matchup between you two. Can you talk about what it was like helping your team settle them down?
Well, I just feel like the last few games we've kind of been trying to get back to where we were in the beginning of the season, and teams know that we're fast. So they try to push that on us because, I mean, it works for us. So I feel like we had a timeout, and we just talked about slowing the ball down and working with our teammates, finding those openings. And after the break, I feel like we kind of found it, and it worked for us.
Yeah, and to be able to complete the series, beat them both times this year, what do you think was the biggest difference maker to make both those wins happen?
We're a really young team. We have 4 sophomores rotating in our lineup, and we're super, super big on being a team, working together, and I feel like we're picking each other up, and you don't see a lot of teams that are having fun no matter when they're up or they're down, and I feel like that bond we have with our teammates really helps us beat teams twice, 3 times in a row, and it helps a lot.
Coach told me before this game that your presence is going to be felt by Blaine basketball even after you leave here. Why do you think he would have told me that?
I mean, it means a lot to me to be a good leader. I mean, yeah, I can score on the court and I can play defense, but if I'm not there leading my team, especially with these younger girls, I don't know, that's just my goal. Make sure that everyone's happy, everyone's together, and just having fun on the court no matter what.
Well, great job tonight, and good luck the rest of the season.
So
and Natty, of course, your presence is fully known when you're out there on the court. You're yanking down those rebounds. What helps you get in position to be able to grab some of those big boards?
I think just seeing it. I mean, I'm always under the hoop. I'm always seeking it out. I think just having that mentality that I'm going to go get it. I'm going to jump over the girl no matter how tall she is, no matter how big she is. I'm going to reach over her head and go grab it. Like, having that mentality on every play is what pushes me to go get those rebounds.
And who maybe helped you have that mindset? Have you always had it, or is there someone in your life that helped enforce that for you?
I think growing up with older brothers helped me because playing in our front yard, I mean, I'm 4'11", and they're all 6 foot tall. So if I want that ball, I'm gonna have to go get it. So I think growing up with the older brothers has definitely given me that mentality. So I thank them for that.
And not too many regular season games left on the year. How important was this game for section seeding?
I think it was very important. I think since we lost to Centennial, we won some other important section games like Andover and Anoka. This one is one that we needed. I mean, we've had our ups and downs this season, but I think just being able to come together in this game and show teams that we are here, we are Blaine, and we are ready to compete meant a lot to everybody watching.
Well, great job tonight. Thanks so much for taking the time.
Thank you so much.
Well, that does it here from Spring Lake Park High School. I'm Blythe Whaley on alongside Matt Dean, my fantastic crew helping me bring this production to you. Have a great rest of your night, and we'll see you next time right here on North Metro TV.